Sylvanas is gonna get picked up in NA a lot, especially on certain maps. No, don't die, lovely Hearthstone. Don't die. Miss Haunted Mines. I'd rather have Haunted Mines than Garden of Terror right now. Who is the game's worst hero? Rexar. Or Nova. I'd probably say Rexar, though. Ah, that's tough. That's one of those two, man. Zoia. So this is Zoia casting? Correct. Yeah, the character guides are pretty good. We'll have guides for every character eventually. Well, the draft guys, first ban for eStar going to be on Falstad. BWS going to take out the Zool. That's going to be the first Illidan we've seen of the day, guys. This is the first game of today that Illidan wasn't banned. eStar's going to first pick him. BWS gets Tass or Sonya Rhaegar. eStar probably going to lock in Tassadar for sure, I would say. I don't want to say confidently that they're going to lock in the Uther. Oh, they're going to go for Sylvanas. Okay. I love how hard Sylvanas is caught on in China. I can't wait till it does the same in NA and EU. I've always cared about EU, Flabbergast. Like, I've always consistently watched EU. So, yeah, I said the task for sure, and there it is. But I've always watched EU, and I've always studied EU. I just legitimately, like, for a long time, thought EU was worse than NA. Like, it wasn't just me, like, randomly trash talking. It was just, like, me watching EU always. I just felt that NA was better. Now, like, I'm still doing the same. I'm still watching, like, every EU tournament. I just now feel that EU is better, and they're probably slightly better than NA right now. I would say EU, like as a whole, is slightly better than NA. But they both look pretty bad right now. Tyrael, ETC being the bans here. Bayway Star going to 100% lock in that Murden. Murden is great versus Illidan. And also great with Illidan. Being one of the few heroes that can keep up with him. So there was, with ETC being banned, there was no way Bayway Star did not go Murden. And then Vala as well. Vala is actually really, really, really good versus Illidan when you go the multi-shot build with the auto attacks. If you can play around evasion, I'm sorry, Rackham. I didn't mean to sail us down the river. If you go the auto attack build with the multi-shot talents, if you play around evasion right, Vala can do insane amount of damage to Illidan. No surprise on the Brightwing there. Global presence on this map. Again, one of the few heroes that can keep up with Illidan. Dahaka is the interesting pick. I was curious as to what word they're going to run with Tyrael, ETC, and Murden not being available. And it's going to be Dahaka. If they can get drag onto Sonya, they can blow her up pretty easily. Last pick's going to be Zagara. Which is good. With Brightwing, Tassadar, and Illidan being clumped up a lot just because they're going to be moving together, you can hit some money maws. EU has not always been better than NA. That's definitely far from the truth. But EU is better than now. Guys, take the one win I've given you guys in the 2 years I've been doing Heroes. I'm finally giving EU a win. Don't get greedy now. Don't get greedy now. I get that in the Cole GG that Dig would beat anyone in NA right now. That's why I'm saying EU is better than NA right now. That is exactly what I'm saying. But if you're saying Dignitas has always been able to beat any NA team, you're wrong. Because that hasn't happened. Ever. Until recently. Which is why they're better now. Take the one win, guys. Take the one win. EU, you're better now. Be happy. You'll be worse again soon. Just give it time. EU will start sucking again more than NA. Be happy for now, though. Be happy for now, European players and fans. You are true. NA is better than Africa and Antarctica right now. Yeah, Ralask. We did scrape EU teams and we're beating them with ping. That was a long time ago, though. That was when everyone was saying TS was arguably the best team in the world. That was before MV Black started dominating everything, like even their own region. When like Korea just looked really bad and their scene was undeveloped. That was a long time ago, so you can't really use that as like a statement right now. I don't know why people are getting all riled up. I'm legitimately saying EU is better than NA right now as a whole. Why are people getting upset? Like, why are all the European people getting upset that I'm saying this? I'm like legitimately complimenting the EU scene right now for being better. I'm so confused. The infinite confusion on my end right now. Here's eStar. After their results in Worlds, people consider them the second best Chinese team, right behind Edward Gaming. Here's BWS. Half these guys don't even have results in their profiles. It was just like no results, and the other ones were all losses. So until so it's easy to go into this already thinking eStar is going to win, just because they're so happy. Why did I say they're happy? Why are eStar happy? We're gonna go ahead and not change that statement. It's easy to think eStar is gonna win this because they're happy. Happy eStar. Toomey laning here in the top as Tassadar. Brightwing's going to be in the bottom lane, soaking versus the Zagara. Zagara playing very, very safe in lane. Illidan does get revealed, so it's going to show the tri lane in the top. And Zouti going to take a little bit of damage here. Going to have to be careful. Nice shields from Tassadar. Going to back out as well as he can. Someone in chat asking if Uther would have been the better counter pick to Rhaegar. No. Rhaegar pairs better with the Illidan than the Uther. So while Uther is good against Illidan because of the stun, they had to deny the Rhaegar from the Illidan because Rhaegar and Illidan just pair so much better together than Uther and Illidan. So they're kind of forced to pick Rhaegar in that situation. I love the changes to this map, by the way. The buffs to Immortals HP makes them more impactful early game, which is exactly what they needed. This is probably the best map right now, in my opinion. I love this map now. I'd have to see it a little bit more. But a lot of damage going down on Sonya. She gets the spin. About half HP before she gets back. So good exchange there from eStar. eStar is one of the best teams at doing this right now. Hold off on the questions, guys. I'll answer them after this game. I'll answer questions between games, but not during the games. So if you're asking questions right now, just remember them and ask them for after. But eStar is probably one of the best teams at trading efficiently. A lot of teams, they won't get an aggressive unless they think they can get a kill. Where eStar, they'll get aggressive if they think they can force you to tap a well or to back. Like, they can go into a fight knowing we're not going to get a kill here, but we're going to trade efficiently to where we won't take too much damage, and we'll force you to back or tap a well. They're one of the best teams in the game at that. Where a lot of teams, they won't get aggressive unless they see a kill. They won't even trade half the time. Here comes the burrow in from Dahaka as well as Brightwing teleport. They're going straight onto Sonya. She's about half HP. Illidan having to back out. Now all 5 members of eStar are here, showing you the power of this double global presence from Brightwing and Dahaka, as they are both mid and bottom up until now. eStar slightly behind on minions, 24-30. Ooze on the point as Sonya, just getting as many of the minions as they can. And with Toomey having to go tap well, this is going to be really close. Illidan's going in. Oz hit with that polymorph. There comes a teleport in from Zal onto Zalti. He has to back out though, or Xingxi, excuse me. Oz is going to go down. No, he's just barely going to live. Peekaboo picked up on Brightwing as well for the vision. And that's going to go over to eStar. They do end up winning it. And here you should be able to see the power of the new Punisher. It's not much better, but it's enough to make it to where it guarantees you getting front wall. Whereas before, sometimes it would just leap over the wall and insta-die, like it would have been dead by now. They're actually going deep here. Brightwing teleporting onto Illidan. They're on top of Vala. She gets reasonably low. And that chase was good for multiple reasons, because it forced them to back away from the fort. And because of them being forced to back away like that, they're going to get this fort. Especially with the Sylvanas. So they get that top fort. Really well done from eStar. Giving them a full level lead right now. Still no kills on the end. Taking a look at talent builds. I mean, this is just going to be one unkillable Illidan. The Brightwing and the Tassel are going full support. I gotta work on my phrasing. I'm sorry, chat. It's 6 a.m. Been up all night. What do you expect, guys? Come on, come on, come on. Let the poor phrasing slide through under the carpet, under the rug, whatever that phrase is. I believe in you guys. I believe in each and every one of you with all my heart. Full level lead here for eStar still. Brightwing in the top lane, Dahaka in the bottom. With the rest of eStar here contesting a camp here in the middle. They should be able to get this uncontested. And this should be level 9 and level 8. And I love this decision to push with the Sylvanas here. This will get them level 10 before the next Immortal phase. This decision right here to push into that bottom wall will get them 10 to the point where BWS won't be able to contest this Immortal phase at all, I feel. Should be spawning a Punisher phase. I keep saying Immortal, Punisher phase. They're just about to hit level 10. Should be Metamorphosis. I'd be really surprised if it was the Hunt. Yeah, it is meta. All the heroics looking pretty normal on the end of eStar. Nothing out of the ordinary. Force wall, blink kill. Love the use of Peekaboo here. Just gets to see when people are rotating in and stuff. And gets the shield onto Illidan in case something happens. Second fort of the game already going down. And this is actually just really good spawn RNG for eStar. It spawns in the middle here, which if eStar wins it, and they will, since it's 11 versus 9, this will push mid, which is the final keep here. Or final fort, excuse me, for BWS. And that's going to be all 3 forts falling within 8 minutes. That's a massive victory for eStar. Which means it'll be every Punisher after that going into keep with a Sylvanas, which if they play it right, they should be able to get keeps. Especially with this lead they have. Well, there's comes a teleport in from Tiger onto Zalti. Wailing Arrow comes out. I can't believe they're trying to contest this right before. This was a perfect engage from eStar. Polymorph goes down onto Rhaegar in the backline. There's the Devouring Maw hitting 2 members. Xingxi doing a lot of damage to Murden. Essential healing has been used. Zalti pops out. Nice shields going down onto NCC, but he does end up missing the drag. So a 1-for-0 exchange there. Everything but Reign of Vengeance was used on the way of BWS. Everything on the end of eStar was used there. So kind of a trade there, but going in favor of eStar. So Toomey taking a lot of damage here. Who's going pretty ham. But with only 3 more minions needed, Yeah, that goes over to eStar. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher, which in my opinion, Frozen Punisher might be the best Punisher in the game right now. With the meta being multiple melee assassins and warriors. The Frozen Punisher is really good. It used to be... No, I think Infernal's always been the worst. I think this one's better than Arcane now. Sylvanas showing her value here, and Brightwing and Dehaka showing their value as they're split pushing multiple lanes just to increase their experience lead. Sylvanas allowing it to be infinitely easier for them to secure this fort by disabling them. And now it's level 13 versus level 11. And if NCC and Brightwing need to join the fight, they can at any moment with their globals. And the Punisher's actually going in deep here. Can they actually get some serious damage here? Illidan dives deep. Brightwing teleports in. Dehaka does burrow as close as he can. He's waddling up now. And they might be able to get this keep here. Zalti's doing a good job of zoning. There's Metamorphosis hitting 3 people. He does have to dash back. Sonya's trying to turn this around. He might be launchable. Brightwing has to pop the ice block. Zalti's so low, but they're somehow keeping him alive. Everyone on the end of eStar is low. Nice ancestral healing going on the Muradin. But now Rhaegar's out of mana. Oh my god, Sylvanas AoE doing so much damage. Force Wall comes out. Big spin coming out from Ooh. Zalti is still somehow alive. Sonya the first to fall. Muradin's going to go down as well. If they can get one more kill, they could have potentially gone core. They end up going, not able to catch anyone else though. And the keep's going to stand for now. Really cool fight there from eStar. Just like everyone on the verge of death for an hour. And eStar just not losing. Like, it just shows you, like, the calcs. Those that don't know, that's like being able to calculate, like, how far you can push yourself in this fight was so good from eStar. Knowing how deep they can go, when they could go back in, pushing their limits to the absolute extreme in that fight, because literally everyone on the end of eStar was basically dead. Yet they were able to do that while fighting underneath a keep and securing 2 kills while getting everyone out of there. That was just like the best min-maxing eStar could have done. That was really well done. What a great fight from eStar. And now they're up 2 levels. BWS for a very, very brief moment is going to be on the same tier as eStar. Ooh, Tiger might be in trouble here. If the spear connects, they could potentially have killed him. Now that minion went coming in, he would have been able to blink kill out. Wouldn't have needed teleport. Big push in the top lane with the Bruiser camp as well. They get that front wall. That's going to secure eStar 16. Good push here from eStar. They still have Brightwing in the bottom, and they have Mercs pushing mid as well. So this could be a double keep situation. Sylvanas doing good spread damage. NCC taking a lot. Brightwing's teleporting in. They catch Sonya out of position. The Maw only catches 1 person, and they're going to kill Sonya. 28 seconds without him. NCC's diving deep. Big Wailing Arrow. They're going on to Zagara. Ancestral Healing's up in 1 second. Can they catch it on top of someone? They do end up using it on Vala, but that keep's definitely going to go down. Rhaegar's Vala has to go into the core or whatever. What is that? What is the area called? I know someone in chat's gonna know. The Fountain? That's not called the Fountain. What is the main starting area called? Hall of Storms? I'm not calling it that. That's silly. The Spawn. I like calling it the Spawn. The Altar. I'm okay with Altar. Altar works. Tickle Headquarters. I like that too. I'm gonna call it Spawn. Zalti controlling the point here. This is going to be in the bottom, which is the keep lane that's taken the least amount of damage. So that's the best case scenario for BWS. If this would have been pushing top or mid, probably could have been a guaranteed game-winning push for eStar. And it's still probably the same. It's 17 versus 15. They have a Sylvanas pushing with it. It's still 16 seconds on Ma. Well, let's see if Ma's up in time. Arcane Punisher, which is pretty decent. We'll see what they can do here. 2 seconds on Ma, so Ma's up. eStar has to be careful of clumping up. Swan's getting value already. Lost is still 3/4 HP. A lot of damage going down on the Murden. Punisher leaps forward. It's about half HP now. Keeps definitely going down. Looks like Mercs are pushing mid as well, so that's going to go down. It's a triple keep situation. Is eStar willing to go for core, though? With this Punisher. It leaps in. Brightwing's teleporting onto Illidan. Essential healing used on Vala. Wailing Air comes out. Big spin onto Sonya. Nice Rain of Vengeance as well. No one's going to fall on the end of eStar, though. Vala's going to be the first to fall in this fight. They do get Sonya as well. Punisher's still about a quarter HP. 3 deaths. 7 kills to 0. eStar, no surprise here. Dominating fashion, wins game number 1. GG. 4-level lead there for eStar at the end. Well, there's that, boys. Yeah, that's like that's the one problem I have with the Gold League format is it's 12 teams. Right? It's 12 teams, like 2 groups of 6. And I mean, if you look at all the regions, there's a huge gap between the 8th place team and the 1st place team. So like if you're looking at like the gap between like if you were to like try and name 12 teams in NA and EU, you wouldn't be able to. And we can only name 12 teams in China, 11 teams in China because of this league having 11 Chinese teams. So like just the gap between eStar and Edward Gaming and the rest is just like when you get to the bottom of that list, it's just so massive. Until we get the matchups that are like EDG versus eStar and MVP Black, most of the games are going to be stomps. I mean, clearly I can name 12 in EU and NA just from watching qualifiers. Like I can name a bunch of the random teams, but like if you were to say name the 12 best teams in NA or name the 12 best teams in EU, like once you get to like past 8, it's just like I guess this team, maybe this team, but like you really just can't like say with confidence who like the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th place teams are. Just like maybe this. So that's what I meant by that statement. Clearly, I can name 12 from each region, but I mean, why do people say that though, Cordulin? Like you say, that's such a weird argument. Like all the NA and teams, EU teams shuffle while the Korean and Chinese teams stick together. That's not true past like 2 or 3 teams. Like, sure, those top teams stick together, but like every other Chinese and Korean team just goes through mad shuffles. So yeah, maybe that's the case for all of them. But saying like all of Korea and China don't go through roster changes, that's not even close to true. It's not even near close to true. Every team here in Gold League has gone through roster changes recently, besides like 2, maybe like 3 or 4. So yeah, that's the case for the top ones. Well, he didn't say the best teams. He said Chinese and Korean teams. That's not true. It's for the top of those teams. That's true, but not all Korean and Chinese teams are like that. I mean, I agree with you, Cordulin. The amount of musical chairs played in EU and NA is insane. But I don't blame either region for that. Thing about EU and NA is half the players here in EU and NA, like they're like all out of high school. They've like never had a job, so they don't understand like the value of a dollar. So like they don't understand what it's like to work, I guess. So like they're very like, I don't know if lazy is the right word, but like they take advantage of the situation. Like when you have players like Dreadnought and Soldier, for instance, who worked like full 8-hour shift jobs and stuff. Like Dread used to be like a lumberjack, I think, like a legitimate lumberjack. Um, and then Soldier used to work full time as well. Like those two had fantastic work ethics when it came to playing the game, because it's like, well, yeah, I'm playing this game for 12 hours a day, but it's better than the job I was doing before. Where like half the players in EU and NA have never had a job. They're straight out of high school. They don't understand the value of a dollar, and they're like, "What? You want me to play Heroes for 8 hours straight and then play Hero League for 4 hours? No, no, no. That's too much work." It's just because they've never actually worked. Um, so you get issues a lot. Like I'd say like half of the players in NA and EU um, have just like a bad mentality when it comes to work ethic, just because they've legitimately never worked, and I guess like the society in NA and EU isn't as. I mean, you can make the argument for Korea. Like, I bet half of the Koreans, don't have jobs. I guess like it's just a different culture, but the culture in NA and EU, um, it's more. I don't even know how to. I don't even like. I don't want to say anything without like having more research on the topic. But for the most, like what I'm saying is like half the players in NA and EU are like spoiled children essentially. They just don't know the value of a dollar, and they don't know how to work. They don't have work ethics because they've never worked a job before. Like I legitimately like feel like if you were to take half the players in NA and EU and just go tell them to work at McDonald's or Taco Bell for like 3 months, it would change them completely. It would legitimately change them completely because they just don't have any work ethic at all. That's not saying for all of them clearly, but from my experience, most of them are like that. Um, so I think that's a big part of the reason. Is just a lot of them are spoiled, and because of that, they feel entitled, and it leads to clashing in environments. Of course, there's a million other reasons that, like, I'm not. You can bring out specifics like this player left because of this reason. So that's not the case. Like clearly, on an individual basis, it can be different. But from my experience, for the most part, it's just lack of work ethic, which leads to team like just that's I would say a big portion in the roster shuffles is just lack of work ethic. A big issue with players is they don't know how to, like, we've all, like, if you've had a job, right, there are people who just you hate. Like they're no matter where you work, there's going to be people you hate, you don't get along with, you can't stand them, but you learn to work with them. You learn to like set aside personal issues and stuff. Like it doesn't matter if you like them or right. You have to work with them, right? And that is an issue with players a lot as well. It's like, well, I don't like you, right? I can name several. I could go into detail about several roster changes that have happened just in NA because of people not getting along. Where in the real work environment, like You go talk to your parents, right? Like they'll be like, yeah, there's like 8 people at my job that I just can't stand. But guess what? They still go to work every day and work with those people and aren't lazy and unmotivated because of it. So you take that into account too, where like a lot of these players are just like they'll let small things like I disagree, I just don't get along with this person, and it crushes rosters. It crushes rosters. Like so just like players not getting along and not being able to set aside the fact that they're working together and like push aside the fact they don't get along, and then just like laziness. That's the main issue with NA and EU. Is like I guess both of those fall under work ethic. Yeah, I'm not gonna name players. I'm not gonna do that. That's not that's not fair to them. That's all personal information and stuff. Like that should remain private. But you know that's a lot of the issues with NA and EU players. It's probably less the case in EU from what I've seen. I can't tell though, because half the time I hear about the roster changes, it does seem that it comes down to that. So that's why the NA and EU go through a lot of roster changes. Is just because of things like that. And like I said, clearly not every roster swap situation is because of that, but a lot of it is. It just all comes down to work ethic. And I agree with the argument that money does talk. And right now, there's not a lot of money in Heroes at all. So you can also take into account that a lot of the players, I don't know about EU too much. I'm not super knowledgeable about what the EU teams make past like the top 4 teams, right? But I can tell you that I mean Blaze was arguably top 4 for several months, and they never had salary, right? So think about every team that's worse than Blaze. I would say that like 5 to 6 teams in NA make salaries, and most of those salaries would shock you. And hell, even the best teams in NA, I bet some of the salaries would shock you guys. So when you're required to play, even just in scrims, like even if you're just required to play 30 to 40 hours a week in scrims, and then you have to like try and grow your brand by streaming, making videos, and then playing Hero League outside of that. You can only do that so much. Like there's only so much you can do for passion, right? Like if you're legitimately like busting your ass for 60 hours a week to try and get good at this game, how long can you do that? Yes, on the low end, pensive goat. Sorry, but how long can you do that, making literally $0 a month? Like, if you're new to Heroes of the Storm and you were to try and go pro, how long would it take a new player to get good enough at the game just to compete at the amateur level? And then from there, how with no leaderboards, no real grandmaster system, with like how it's very shaky with like who's actually good, because there's so many people in the top 200 that just like people already know they're not good, right? Like, how do you break into the scene? So let's just say like it takes you a year just to make a top 8 team like THC did. Like let's just say those guys have been playing a year, right? Those guys have been busting their ass to get good for a year. They're finally top 8 and they're still probably not getting salary anytime soon. So while you do like while there is the argument that yes, because I just did harp about the work ethic for most players in NA, you can also see the other side of it where again, most pro players don't get pay, like at all, like at all. You have to make top 8 just to make any money from tournaments, and there's still so many top 8 teams that don't get salary. And I know the argument is that Korean players do this for no money, blah 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 blah. It's a completely different culture over there. So yeah, while we can always make the comparison to Korean teams, um, some of those teams do get food in house but no pay. Well, that's not the case in NA. I think there's only one team house right now in North America. That's the Tempo Storm house. Cognitive doesn't have a house anymore. I don't think any other team has a house at the moment. I could be wrong about that, but I'm like 99% sure there's only one in NA. So there's a lot of things you got to take into account about those things, guys. And you're probably right, Crumpy Kiss. I mean, there are probably a few others you can list, but for the most part, you're right. Yes. So you gotta look at every aspect of it. You can't just go spoiled children because eventually, like, how long can you commit to your passion while, especially when you're like just out of high school, right? A lot of kids like when they're gonna get out of high school, it's like it's scary enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna take a year off of college. I'm gonna take 2 years off of college to chase this dream. And then after a year you're still legitimately making no money. You got to look at every single side of it. So it'll grow eventually. It'll change eventually. HOTS is growing, and sponsors are starting to show a little bit of interest, but it'll take time. So Bayway Star. I almost called him Bayway Soul. Bayway Star with first pick, first ban. They're gonna deny the Illidan. eStar is gonna deny the Zool. Interesting band on Sky Temple. Zool not a too popular of a pick on this map, as you don't find yourself pushing waves too long in this game. Falstead with the first pick for Bayway Star, going for the global presence. eStar again with prioritization on Sylvanas, and then we're gonna see Leeming again. So good push and good burst. Bayway Star gonna get ETC and Thrall. Two really great war heroes. I'm expecting a Murden ban here from Bayway Star, where Uther is going to be the ban for eStar, which is going to give eStar Rhaegar, and depending on what war they want, maybe Joanna and Bayway Star. Bayway Star actually going to give ban Zeratul. Is eStar just going to straight up lock in Murden Uther? Or Murden Rhaegar, excuse me, Uther's banned. There's the Murden. It's got to be Rhaegar, right? Like they have to. Like I can't believe they let through Murden like that to ban a Zeratul. There's no way they don't go Rhaegar, right? Yeah. Last pick for eStar could be Greymane Sonya, Vala. eStar's draft is sick. Can't believe Bayway Star gave them this. I don't care what the next two picks are for Bayway Star. Where are they going to go? Task, Karazim? Karazim, Sonya? There's the Greymane, so they do pick up the Greymane. It's going to be Karazim, right? I can't see them picking any other support. They go solo support Tron or Task. That just won't work. It has to be Karazim. I think I've said this multiple times while casting Goaling. I'm not a big fan of Karazim. And no, Cordulin. Maybe, well, what are you referring to when you say that, Cordulin? Like, are you talking about from Blizzard's end? But yeah, I've said this multiple times. Whoa, Leoric, okay. That is a pick I haven't seen in a while. But yeah, I've been very unimpressed with China's Karazim, even from the top teams like eStar and Edward Gaming, compared to like Bakeries or Merry Days Karazim. None of the Chinese teams know how to play with Karazim. Like, it's not just about the Karazim players, it's about playing around the Karazim. And all the Chinese teams, even eStar and Edward Gaming, do not look good with Karazim at all. I've seen Gemini on Karazim, and it's not as good as Bakery or Merridays. Not even close. Don't facepalm me. Or I will throw some bows at you, bro. Whoa, some mad bows. That's last set of the night. Potentially the last game here. Significant difference in skill there from game number 1. eStar just looked in control of the entire game. Yeah, man, those big Zoia elbows. Throw some wicked bows at you, man. Just wicked bows. Caldor is at home shining his head. Isn't Caldor casting regionals? Shouldn't he be at the regionals? If you could create your dream team for HOTS players from every region, which 5 would it be, and the roles would they play, and what? I would need to think more on that. Alpine Milk. Ask me that a different time when we're not about to dive into a game. Well, here we go on the left-hand side of the map. eStar up 1-0. One of the more consistent teams. eStar has been around since the start. Since China got involved in here. So I'm here on the right, it's going to be BWS. A team that half the players, people don't even know who they are. And after getting those forfeits from week 1, they're in a really scary spot as their first match was against eStar, who is just a titan. Titan of a team. Really interesting draft coming out here from eStar, the double warrior with Murd and Leoric. Take a look at talents. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary here. Everything looking pretty normal. Taking a look at the lane setup. Looks like we have a potential gank here coming up. But Tiger playing very safe in the top. Leoric playing safe as well. Zalti being their flex. I need to sit up in my chair. I'm going to fall asleep if I keep leaning back like that. Full level lead already for eStar, about half level lead rather. I don't know what BWS is doing to have already fallen behind, but they haven't been getting ganked. Maybe they're just like failing to soak from a distance and missing like an individual minion here and there. Tiger contesting the top versus Thrall. Middle currently being held briefly by BWS. How does eStar have a full level lead out of nowhere? What is happening? Nothing's happened this game. Like, I know it's like you have to wait for the minion wave to catch up, but still, like, eStar has a lead. And I haven't seen why. Why do they have a lead? Did they get towers, like, outside of the shrines? I didn't see Sylvanas pushing anything. She got the wall? Oh, okay, I missed that. Top towers, okay. I see that now, chat, thank you. So top towers, okay, so that explains where that experience came from. Good push from Sylvanas and Li Ming. Thrall, you're going to be dead. Nice surround. Jojo, not going to get out of here. ETC has to be careful. Power slide is down. Doesn't want to be caught. Middle shrine has been consumed. I think most of the star shots went over to BWS. Top's going to go over to eStar. Looks like that's healing ward on Rhaegar. Not a talent we see too often anymore, if at all. Zalti just soaking in bottom. Looks like Greymane starting the Bruiser camp for BWS. Doesn't look like eStar might be potentially going for an invade here. Can they get on the point? No, they're not going to go ahead and leap over. So that will end up going over to BWS. About 3/4 of a level lead right now for eStar. Getting the advantages where they can. Leoric rotated top. And notice that. That's a really beautiful rotation coming out from eStar. You know that your solo lane is going to be bottom, as the first two shrines always spawn middle and top. And then you know that your next solo lane is going to be top lane, as the second rotation always going to be one in the bottom. And immediately Leoric rotated up. Really just good timing and game sense coming out from eStar. And the tri-lane rotated down. So not only is this getting insane amounts of damage with the Sylvanas Leeming, and Leoric's also soaking 2 lanes as well. He's rotating between mid and top. And Thrall's not actually doing that. Thrall has only been doing top. He did Bruiser camps as well. So not only do they have this 4 push here, which is going to get the first fort of the game, second fort of the game. Wow, they got top 2. Wow. Did I say one in the butt? Sorry. eStar is just playing this map perfectly. There's no other way to put it. They're playing the map perfectly around their opponents, and BWS is doing nothing to shut this down. They've already got 2 forts down. Their rotations have been great. They're a full level up. They don't even have to fight. Like they have not needed to fight yet. Oh, Greymane did Bruiser's not Thrall. Okay, I couldn't see from the minimap. Sorry guys. I'm watching from a Skype window and it's blurry. I can't see the icons too well. Falsehead's laning versus Leoric on top. Looks like Tiger's dead. Yeah, you're fully surrounded. He's gonna get out. He's gonna go down. They're gonna get a turnaround kill on the Greymane. And Sylvanas and Li Ming are doing some of the resets. That's level 10. And a 4-for-1 exchange. That's what happens when Li Ming gets resets. Five kills to 1 in favor of eStar. They're going to go ahead and start the boss. They got the 3rd fort. 5.5 minutes of the game. That's all 3 forts down. And now this boss is going to pressure keep. BWS can't even contest the boss, as it's 11 versus 8. That shouldn't get too much damage. If it got, like, even a tower bottom, I'd be surprised. It should, like, it'll immediately start hitting on the gate and then be cleared up. Zalti feeding. Leorki doing the best it can to aggressively scout and then get picked off. Only Thrall here to defend. And with them pushing with the Sylvanas, this could get more than I initially said. I didn't think they would push with the boss. And I was expecting all of them to rotate down. It's still a very early boss. This is a 6-minute boss, so it's very squishy. But the fact that Sylvanas is helping, and Tomb goes down onto Thrall. Li Ming bursts through the wall, and Thrall is immediately annihilated. This boss is still 3/4 HP. Sylvanas is disabling the fort. Leoric's trying to reposition himself to get another kill. There's no way they can... Falsehead's still top. That is so greed. There's no way they go core. Not with them hitting 10 just now. Maybe if it was 9 versus 12, they could have gone core. But they're going to go ahead and back out. Heroics are here. You got Sundering, Mighty Gust, Mosh Pit. Too risky to go under core. But they get themselves a sub 7-minute keep because of the Sylvanas push. And they have level 13 now. I actually love Will of the Forsaken here, picked up from Sylvanas. That's really cool. Not something you see too often at all. You see it every once in a while, but I actually like the Will of Forsaken pickup here. You got a lot of CC between ETC and Thrall. And she's the clear go-to target to kill. With shield build from Li Ming and her mobility, she's harder to kill than Sylvanas. So they're both can be killed, clearly. But Sylvanas is going to be the clear target here. And if she does get caught in CC, as well as she can use it to avoid the Mosh Pit and silence it. So I really like I really like the Will of Forsaken pickup. ETC being collapsed upon here gets the power slide. Cares even gonna Radiant Dash to him to heal him up. There's a big Entomb going down. Sundering comes out to try and disengage. Toomey gets caught in the Mosh Pit. going to go ahead and Will of Forsaken out of it. Big Wailing Air comes out. They're trying to fight on top of this. A lot of spread damage coming out from Sylvanas. Divine Palm connects with ETC, but Thrall and Kharazim go down. Greymane trying to kite back. It's taken out by Xingxi. 4-for-nothing exchange. Falstad the only one's up. He does not have Gusts anymore. That's game. All right. 10 sec up. Falstad. 8.5 minutes into this game. Core's at 80%. Kharazim and Thrall up in 4 seconds, but it does not matter. That's going to be GG. All right. So, like, hopefully, what I've been saying over like the last week is that how there's just a giant gap between the top in China and the bottom of China. That it's starting to become more and more clear. That was crushing. They're a new roster, I believe, going through changes this last week. So it's tough to go up against a Titan like eStar like that. But I appreciate them all being 2-0s in fast games. They heard that Zoya's coffee maker broke, and he was unable to go get energy drinks. So they made it as close as short as possible. It was only a 4-hour cast tonight. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Gold League. I will be back here on this channel tomorrow starting at 3 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to go to bed. I will have energy drinks for tomorrow. I'm going to make time to walk to the store and get some. So I'll be more energetic tomorrow. I just couldn't go to the store today. I just had too much to do. But tomorrow, I'll have energy drinks for tomorrow. I'll be solo again. So make sure you guys follow the channel. Tomorrow is day 2 of Group A, or day 4 of Group A. Tomorrow we have YL versus eStar, OMG versus BWS, and MVP Black versus Star Club, which will probably be another 3 2-0s. eStar should 2-0 YL, OMG should 2-0 BWS, and MVP Black should 2-0 everyone in their path. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Gilly will be back Saturday and Sunday with me. So tomorrow will be me again. Saturday and Sunday will be me and Gilly. And then Sunday, we're doing Gold League plus the first NA qualifier for spring or summer regionals number 2. So Sunday is another long day of casting. So there's going to be a lot of heroes on this channel over the next month. So follow the channel. Very important that you do that. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.